What's up guys, it's Shadowkeep prep time, and so let's get straight at it. A lot of things are changing in the game, and one of the biggest things for players to really think about going into year 3 is probably going to be the economy and getting set up for a smooth ride. As always guys, how much prep you do is totally your call. There is no mad rush if you don't want it, but if you do, maybe it's the raid or some other pinnacle thing, God Roll 2.0 sets, whatever it might be, there are some things that you can ready for if you like, but if not, we've got 3 months to enjoy Season 8, so no sweat. Let's not beat around the bush then. Firstly, power prep. This is, as far as we know, going to be pretty limited really compared to other seasons. Partly that's because of the information we have. We know that Bungie are reworking how power drops in the game. There are going to be new tiers for powerful engrams, new rules for prime engrams, and so on. And so the best thing I could advise you to do for now, if you really want to, would be to save non-powerful Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit bounties. These can be used as a buffer for any powerful bounties or requirements which need the completion of dailies, so things like Akora's milestone, Benedict or Werner's bounties, Dreaming City weeklies, etc. However, it is likely that any existing powerful sources will grant the lowest possible tier of reward, and then it's even possible that some powerful milestones will completely go away. And so, hoarding power in the ways of old certainly comes with no guarantee, but do bear in mind that any powerful drops, so powerful bounties, do cap out at the season's power level, and so you're looking for bounties that help you complete powerful bounties and not powerful bounties themselves. Now, moving away from that, we are going to be earning some of our power in a different way in Season 8, and of course that's with the artifact. So the artifact is partly leveled up with XP, and that includes the unlimited power ranks that we can achieve with it. And so, a huge thing that you can do is make sure you have a Guiding Light XP Ghost Shell. Of course, Guiding Light is an exotic bonus, and there are a few Ghost Shells where all XP gains are increased by 10%. And of course, as you play, that's a pretty big bonus if you're talking about gaining a bunch of light levels from the artifact. On top of this though, there are XP medallions, and these won't stack with ghost perks, but they totally could be useful, so bear in mind XP bonuses for leveling on the artifact, both in terms of getting new mods and perks for it, but also power levels from it. Yeah, it's totally worth being ready for. One thing that could possibly lead you to some new 2.0 gear though, would be saving bounties that have a legendary reward. So if you're not bothered about the power, Bungie have said that armor that is generated and drops in year 3 will come as a 2.0 version, and that could include legendary gear from bounties, although you could also smash in Crucible, Vanguard tokens, or whatever to try and get 2.0 drops from vendors at launch. 2.0 gear really is going to be fairly accessible, and if you're getting straight into Shadowkeep, there's also going to be plenty of new gear to earn. Next up though, material prep is going to be a massive thing, and I know it's kinda boring, but the costs for endgame upgrades and unlocks in Shadowkeep appear to be pretty astronomical in comparison to the current game. So upgrading Armor 2.0 pieces to 10 energy is going to be required in order to socket the most number of high level mods into that gear, and so essentially to get anywhere near to that God Roll territory on armor, the energy system will require a series of costly upgrades. So we need Glimmer, and then enhancement cores, and eventually enhancement prisms and ascendant shards. And those are two kind of new or returning materials, but those will be needed to do those final upgrades. So the wealthier you are now, the better. Obviously, cores, Glimmer, prisms, and shards are all upgrade materials, and many of the new ones will be available for purchase at Banshee. So alongside a rotation of new standard tier mods, it's likely that these will have a pretty heavy mod component cost, and so Glimmer, enhancement cores, and mod components are all things that you can start saving now. 4 easy ways to do that. Completing Banshee bounties and clan challenge bounties for enhancement cores is going to be huge, and with 3 characters, you can still pick up nearly 300 cores if you do these each week until Shadowkeep drops. Another thing you can do is bank Glimmer with exotic items, so the Glimmer cap is being increased, but the spend is going to be pretty insane. Also, any ghost shells that award you Glimmer while playing are pretty useful. But how can you bank Glimmer? Well, there are a couple of exotic items really useful for this. The Other Side Sparrow and the ship that you get from the Whisper of the Worm mission, they'll both allow you to stash Glimmer at a small loss. So for example, the Other Side costs 7,500 Glimmer and 3 legendary shards to purchase, but it dismantles into 5,000 Glimmer and 3 shards, and this means if you buy up a whole bunch and vault them, you can then refill your Glimmer on the character until it's full, but the vault is actually holding these items which are worth a lot of Glimmer. In fact, 9 Other Side Sparrows in your inventory are worth 135,000 Glimmer, and again, from what we can see, we're gonna need it, so it's something to think about. Some other things you could do to save materials would be buy simulation seeds from the spider. When you buy them with shards, you can get a rank up at Brother Vance for around about 3 legendary shards essentially. And from that, you get a shader which returns one of those shards, as well as legendary gear to delete. And often, you'll get Masterworks dropped which dismantle for enhancement cores. So if you want to do some intense farming, that's always an option. Of course, don't forget you can also direct purchase mod components from Ada 1. Hopefully this won't change after launch, but it could be a way to start stashing some now. Also, you can clear weapons out of your inventory and go into your collections, look for rare weapons, and specifically blues which drop from adventures. That include weapons like the Lionheart, Harsh Language, and Weaver 3, but if you buy them for 250 Glimmer and 3 Gunsmith materials, when you delete them, you have an RNG chance to get mod components, but you'll also be refunded 125 Glimmer and 2 Gunsmith materials, making the actual cost very low. So again, maybe worth it if you really want to stack mod components. And also, if you have any old legendaries from year 1 that you don't want, they will dismantle consistently with mod components since they were deprecated at the start of year 2. The next tip really is going to be to load up on planetary materials. Seems pretty obvious, but if you can keep clearing bounties, spend Glimmer now at the Spider to buy materials when they come up. Of course, you can re-earn that Glimmer before Shadowkeep. You also have the option of AFK farming forges. As long as you level yourself down, it's still an easy option to slowly stack some materials up. To do that, you'll need to lower your power using cosmetic gear, and then load into forges, where you'll match with players who are essentially doing the same thing. The forge will fail, and after a few seconds, drop you some materials and then start again. And so those are the main kind of material things that I can recommend right now. And really, for the moment, in terms of the stuff we know about, my other tips would be to delete unwanted Eververse sets and items. So at the moment, they'll give you Bright Dust, and this will change after Shadowkeep drops, but also for universal ornaments, the collection system recognizes everything we've already earned. So you can safely delete Eververse sets now, and you'll still get access to the ornaments for the ones you've earned in the past. On top of this, you can delete shaders for the same reason, and generally clear out any old stuff in the vaults, of course. It makes space, lands you mod components, materials, and all of that. And if you do want to stack up on Bright Dust, completing the Eververse bounties with your spare bounty notes, of course, is something else that you can do if you are actively playing at the moment. And so for now, I think those are all of the tips I can give you guys. There may be a couple of things I've missed out, and so if you guys have any awesome tips, definitely drop them in the comment section, and then I can round up kind of additional useful stuff and pin it at the top of the comment section. But for now, guys, if you found the video useful, a rating really helps me out on the channel, and if you want to be keeping up to date with everything related to Shadowkeep, guides for all of that content when it drops, as well as the news stuff, then be sure to hit subscribe on the channel. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.